You know, it's so crazy that Wicked has been out in the world for 15 years. I remember when the show started, because I auditioned for it about a year later to become one of the first cast members of the national tour. And I mean, 15 years ago, it's crazy to think about it. So much has changed. You know, I did not expect to be singing this music ever again, actually, and what a surprise. What an amazing phone call it was to be asked to be a part of this tonight. As Long As You're Mine is the duet between Elphaba and Fiyero, and it's a great piece of music. Stephen Schwartz is brilliant. I actually got to understudy the role when I did the tour. So I was in the ensemble, and I would rehearse every week this song. So when I came to a rehearsal the other day to rehearse this with Lettucey, I was like, you know, it's just like riding a bike. I remember this. I rehearsed it so many times and only went on like maybe 6 or 7, but now this will be 8. You know, we all know what it's like to feel different on some level. And Wicked hits the nail on the head. Elphaba, the Green Witch, comes to a school, she's an outcast, she's made fun of, and the popular girl reaches out and becomes friends with her. And, you know, I think we all understand these archetypes. We all understand what the show is about. Everyone can relate to it. And I think that's one of the reasons why it's resonated so deeply with audiences for the last 15 years. Everyone sees themselves in one of these two roles, or maybe some of the other roles in the cast. Acceptance is something that the last 20 years we've really become a little bit more aware of. We've become aware of bullying. We've become more aware of accepting people's differences. And the show really, really embraces these themes. Yeah, I remember opening night of Wicked on the national tour was in Toronto, and it was cold. It was winter, so there was a lot of snow. But we were very excited. You know, the show was still so fresh. The Broadway cast was still running strong. They had been on stage for a little over a year, I think it was. And so we were sort of the next production that was put together. And everyone was very excited. And I had the opportunity of working with the creative team from the Broadway production. And yeah, we just knew how important it was, this production. We knew that the show had an effect on people. Like we said, it's a show about universal themes and acceptance and friendship. And also, I think one of the other themes that I find really interesting about it is the perception of what's bad and what's good. You know, sometimes you can't judge a book by its cover. And once you read a little deeper into that book, you might learn something about somebody that explains who and what they are. I love that the show questions that and urges the audience to question that, both while watching it and maybe in their own lives. Wicked's been going strong for the last 15 years here on Broadway, and I think part of the reason for that is the themes of the show. They are universal. Everyone can relate to them. And also, wow, the music is amazing. It's really incredible music. As a singer, it's incredible to perform. The audience loves it. I think the music and the script have been woven together so beautifully. The original creative team, I think, worked very, very hard on workshopping it and getting it to a point where it was seamless and fluid. And it's an amazing piece of theater. So I'm singing the song As Long As You're Mine with the incredible Lettucey, who I've been a fan of for very long. I haven't actually met her before until today at rehearsal. And I've always loved her voice, so when I was told that this is who I was singing it with, I was beside myself. The song takes place in the second act when Elphaba, the Green Witch, and Fiyero finally come back together. They're sort of in a situation where they're not really supposed to be together because he's supposed to be with her friend. So it's a forbidden love. So the duet is sort of like, okay, this is just our moment. No one else is around. It might just be for a moment. This might be it. But while it is it, let's make the most of it. I'm very excited to be a part of this anniversary special. I believe in the show. I think it's brilliant. I love what it makes people feel and what it makes people think about. And then on a personal level, it's a big full circle moment for me. You know, I was in the chorus and studying to play this part that I got to do a few times. And shortly after the LA production that I was in, which was after the national tour cast that I was a part of, I auditioned for American Idol and rode that wave to the end. And since then, in the last 9 years, I've had an amazing adventure. I've, put songs out. I got a Grammy nomination. I've been singing with Queen. And just sort of come back to sort of this point of origin for me, sort of the project that brought me to the East Coast and brought me to a Broadway caliber company. To come back and sing that song it's connecting the dots for me in a really special way. And to do it with someone as brilliant as Lettucey is like, a thrill.